Alright, everybody, so we are back here with TEW9, the War of Immortals save here with WWFC Primetime Wrestling. So we'll take a look at last week's episode. The pre-show was Genichiro Tenryu versus Bob Orton. Bobby and Tony hyping up the upcoming episode that we have. Uh, Greg Valentine and Big John Studd defeating George Animal Steel and Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Andre the Giant talking to Jerry the King Lawler about running his mouth and saying that Andre got lucky at King of the Ring. Then we had the Islanders defeat the Killer Bees. We had Harley Race say that the days are numbered on Barry Windham's United States Championship reign. We had Sid Vicious defeat Ken Patera. Piper talking about the attack that happened the week before with the Great Muta. Andre defeated Bad News Brown. Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express talk about the upcoming World Tag Title match with Demolition at Saturday Night's Main Event. Then we had Strike Force defeat the Midnight Express. We had Bobby Heenan talk some more about the Horsemen doing their scouting for their new member who will be revealed at Saturday Night's Main Event. We had Arn defeat Terry Gordy. We had Unknown tell the Texas Tornado that he will see him at Saturday Night's Main Event for their match. Then the Texas Tornado defeated Hiroshi Hase. We had James Mitchell tell Piper that he has been warned that the Muta is coming for him. Then we had Muta and Barry Windham defeat Harley Race and Roddy Piper in the main event. So I am going to book this week's episode. So I will be right back. Are back, and we have the whole card booked. So let's hop into this with our pre-show match. In a decent pre-show match, the Fabulous Freebirds defeated Cowboy Bob and Magnificent Morocco in 10:04 when Terry Gordy pinned Bob Orton Jr. with this power slam. In terms of in-ring work, Terry Gordy was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat at the end is expected and simmering. The wrestling rating got a 70. The crowd rating got a 58. The segment got an 80. Terry Gordy had an 87. Michael P.S. Hayes had a 75. Bob Orton Jr. had a 55. Don Morocco had a 63. It advanced our Horseman Freebird storyline. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy showed excellent chemistry teaming together. And Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan worked extremely well together on commentary. So let's head in to our opener. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another action-packed edition of WWFC Primetime Wrestling. We are just 17 days away from Saturday night's main event, and tonight we've got a lineup that's going to shake the foundation of the WWFC. Tony, this is the kind of card that makes people cancel dinner plans, call out of work, and glue their eyes to the screen. It's a Heenan-approved spectacle, and tonight it's stacked from top to bottom. Starting off with a wild one in the tag division as Greg the Hammer Valentine teams with the Midnight Express to take on the unpredictable George the Animal Steel and the absolute wrecking crew Demolition. I hope somebody brought a leash for George Steele and an ice pack for Demolition because Greg Valentine and the Midnight Express are going to do what they do best. Win with precision and class. Cornette's boys are untouchable right now. And how about this blockbuster? The master of the Oriental Spike, the Great Muta, goes one-on-one with Japanese legend Genichiro Tenryu in a true international dream match. It's a nightmare for Tenryu. The Great Muta is on a warpath, and with James Mitchell guiding him, there's no stopping that force. Tenryu might be tough, but Muta is a phenomenon. Oh, well, that's not the main event. Another match. Two Titans collide. The King Harley Race goes face to face with the unstoppable Sid Vicious. Sid has been waiting to unleash carnage. And unfortunately for Harley, tonight's the night. Harley Race is one of the toughest men ever. But even he is going to find out just how dangerous Sid truly is. And let's not forget, Sid is looking for a fight at Saturday night's main event. It's all happening tonight on Primetime Wrestling, and don't you dare miss a second of it. We'll see you at ringside. So the crowd is hot and rising. The segment got a 92. It advanced all of our storylines that we got going on. The performance of Bobby Heenan was good. Bobby Heenan worked the crowd well, using his freedom to improvise to his advantage. Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase. The angle got the crowd hotter, and the angle got the crowd off to a hot start. So let's head into our first match. In a decent match, Ken Patera defeated Big John Studd in 750 by submission with a swinging full Nelson. So the crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got a 57. The crowd rating got a 49. The segment got us a 63. Big John Studd had a 53. Ken Patera had a 61. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. And Teddy Long did some good work at ringside. So let's head off to the next segment. I thought this might do a little bad. Take a good long look at this, boys and girls. The $1 Million Championship. Solid gold. Custom made and sitting where it belongs. On the shoulder of a real man, the Hammer. Now, I hear a lot of chatter in the locker room. This guy wants a shot. That guy thinks he's got what it takes. Let me make one thing crystal clear. Nobody beats Greg Valentine. Nobody takes this championship from me. I've broken bones, ended careers, and I'll do it again if it means keeping this title. You want a piece of the Hammer? You better be ready to survive the beating of your life, because I don't play games. I wrestle, I hurt people, I win. This gold ain't going anywhere. And if you think otherwise, well, you're just another name on the list of guys I'm going to leave laying flat on their backs. Bank on it. So, the crowd heat is hot. The segment got us a 61. It advanced the Greg Valentine, Ronnie Garvin, and George Animal Steel storyline. So, let's head to the next match here. In a decent match, Greg Valentine and the Midnight Express defeated George Steele and Demolition. In 10:22, when Bobby Eaton pinned George Steele with an Alabama jam. George Steele was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. The crowd heat is hot. The wrestling rating got a 61. The crowd rating got a 58. The segment got a 75. Stan Lane had a 67. Bobby Eaton had a 76. Greg Valentine had a 54. George Steele had a 45. Smash had a 57. And Axe had a 70. And advanced the Triple Threat storyline. It advanced and lost heat for the Midnight Express Demolition storyline. George Steele was off his game. Tony and Bobby worked extremely well on commentary. The color commentary gave it a boost. Jim Cornette did good work at ringside. Both Bobby and Stan have great chemistry when being managed by Jim Cornette. So, let's head to our next segment here. Demolition, you think just because you wear face paint, leather, and scowl like two grumpy garbage men that you're going to march into Saturday night's main event and take these titles off my Midnight Express? Let me tell you something, Axe and Smash. This ain't the Wild West. This is the WWFC, and these men right here, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, are the greatest tag team walking God's green earth. They're faster, smarter, and smoother than any team you've ever faced. And brother, they ain't afraid of a couple of painted up bullies. Demolition, you boys are all power and no finesse. But when it comes to technique, timing, and teamwork, we're second to none. And at Saturday night's main event, we're going to teach you a lesson in tag team wrestling you won't forget. You bring the pain, we'll bring the gold. And when the dust settles, it'll still be Midnight Express standing tall with these titles. So go ahead, bring your chains, bring your pain, bring your demolition. Because when the bell rings, we're going to find out real fast why nobody, and I mean nobody, outshines the Midnight Express. Saturday night's main event, belongs to us. So the crowd heat is hot. The segment got a 66. At Advanced, the Express Demolition storyline, Jim Cornette improvised well, and he benefited from having a hot catchphrase at the same time. So, not too bad. They are getting better at doing promos, so that's really good. So, let's head to the next segment. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, King Martel defeated Haku in 9:31 by pinfall with a fast roll up. The crowd heat is white hot. The wrestling rating got a 73. The crowd rating got a 63. The segment got a 77. King Martel had a 73 and Haku had a 72. The match got the crowd hotter. So that is fantastic. So let's head to the next segment. No, we're not doing it yet. Oh, hey, that actually did really good. Unknown, that's what they call you. No name, no face, no soul. Just a shadow lurking around the WWFC, thinking you're going to make a name at my expense. But you made the biggest mistake of your life signing up to face the Texas Tornado. You might be hiding behind the mask of mystery, but at Saturday night's main event, there'll be nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. I've been through storms before, and I am the storm. And when I hit that ring, you're gonna feel the wind, the fury, and the spinning force that's gonna put you down for the count. See you at Saturday night's main event, Unknown. And when it's all said and done, you'll be known as the man who got tornadoed straight out of the WWSC. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 75, and it advanced the Texas Tornado versus whoever storyline. So let's head to the next segment here, or the next match. In a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, Andre the Giant and the Texas Tornado defeated Jerry Lawler and Kamala in 9:45 when Andre pinned Jerry Lawler. Kamala was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody. Well, that's kind of true. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 70. The crowd rating got a 76. Our segment got an 80. The Texas Tornado had a 76. Andre had a 71. Kamala had a 61. Jerry Lawler had a 71. The Andre versus Jerry Lawler storyline, the Texas Tornado versus whoever storyline advanced. Colonel Robert Parker did good work at ringside as well, so that's really good. So let's head to our next segment. Oh, I don't know why that bummed out. You know, for weeks, people have been whispering, speculating, begging to know who the next man to ride with the greatest force in professional wrestling would be. And now it's time to put the world on notice. You see, the New Horsemen don't just recruit anybody. We don't pick someone because they're flashy, loud, or trying to go viral. No. We bring in a man who is dangerous, calculated, dominant. A man who fits this legacy like a custom-made suit. With Anderson's power, Blanchard's precision, Wyndham's greatness, and now the final piece in place. The New Horsemen are unstoppable. You're looking at the most complete, most dangerous unit in the history of this sport. So mark your calendars, WWFC, because at Saturday night's main event, the world will meet the newest Horseman. And when he arrives, the entire locker room is going to realize their worst nightmare just came true. And trust me, Brain always has a plan. And this one's perfect. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 75. At Advanced, Barry Windham and Harley Race, the Horsemen and the Freebirds, and Sid Vicious's new storyline. So Bobby Heenan clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, and he benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's jump to the next match. That is fantastic. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Barry Windham defeated Pat Patterson in 9:36 by pinfall with a lariat. Barry Windham makes defense number 3 of his WWFC United States title. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 73. The crowd was a 64. The segment got a 90. Barry Windham had an 82. Pat Patterson had a 63. It advanced the Barry Windham Harley Race storyline, and the Barry Windham creative finish was a success. So let's head to our next segment. Man, another 75. What is going on here? You know, every week in the WWFC, I hear the same tired noise. Everyone's talking about who the toughest is, who deserves the spotlight, who's got the guts to stand on top. Well, let me tell you something. There's only one man who should be feared, respected, and worshipped in that ring, and you're looking at him. At Saturday night's main event, July the 20th, my monster, my masterpiece, Sid Vicious wants a fight. And not just any fight. We're issuing an open challenge to anybody in that locker room who thinks they've got the guts to step into the ring with this man. Do you hear me, WWFC? I don't care who you are, champion, legend, fan favorite, or so-called monster. I live to destroy. You want to test yourself against Sid? Then sign the dotted line, but understand this. When you step into the ring with me, there's no coming back. You will be broken. You will be hurt. And when I'm finished with you, you'll remember why I am the master and the ruler of the world. July 20th, Saturday night's main event. Who's it going to be? Who's brave enough or stupid enough to take the ride with Sid Vicious? Step up and get smashed down. We'll be waiting. So the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 70, or the segment got a 75. That advanced the Sid versus Blank storyline, and Bobby Heenan benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to Sid's next match. In a wild brawl that had superb wrestling and great heat, Harley Race defeated Sid Vicious in 10:09 by pinfall with his pile driver. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 93. The crowd rating got a 79. The segment got a 90. Sid had a 93. Harley Race had a 93. Had advanced the Barry Windham Harley Race storyline, the Sid storyline, and Sid benefited from having a hot new move. So let's head off to our next segment. Whoa. Actually, you know what? That works out a lot better. Great Muda. You like to sneak around in the shadows, spitting that mist, playing your mind games like some kind of ghost story. Well, guess what, pal? I ain't afraid of the dark. You want a shot at the big gold? You want the WWFC Championship? You better be ready for war, Muda. Because you're not stepping into the ring with just a man, you're stepping in there with a cyclone in a kilt, brother. You bring your mist, you bring your mystique, bring James Mitchell. Heck, bring the whole damn army if you want. It won't matter. Because when the bell rings, you're going to find out just how dangerous a cornered hot rod can be. This ain't going to be no wrestling match. This is going to be a fight in Muda. You better prepare for the fight of your life. So, the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 92. It advanced the Piper Great Muda storyline. Came across well. Piper enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well, and he benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So let's head to our main event. Oh, no, that's not the main event. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Arn and Tully defeated the Fantastics in 14:33 when Arn pinned Bobby Fulton with his spinebuster. In terms of ring work, Arn Anderson was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 75. The crowd rating got a 59. The segment got an 87. Tully Blanchard had an 82. Arn Anderson had a 100. Tommy Rogers had a 56. Bobby Fulton had a 62. It advanced the Horseman Freebird storyline. Arn and Tully showed excellent chemistry. They got a tag team specialist bonus. The performance of Arn Anderson really stood out, and the match got the crowd buzzing. So let's head to the next segment. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, you boys like to call yourselves the new Horsemen. Well, let me tell you something, partner. Horses get put down when they can't run no more, and after July the 20th, you won't be running anywhere. That's right, we ain't playing your games. You may talk tough, you may walk around with Bobby Heenan flapping his gums, but when that bell rings, it's gonna be fists flying and bodies dropping. You see the difference between us and you. You're all suits and strategy, we're blood and fire. We don't just wrestle, we fight. And when you step into the ring with the Freebirds at Saturday night's main event, you're gonna feel that southern heat. So lace them boots up tight, boys. Bring everything you got, 'cause when the smoke clears, it ain't gonna be the Horsemen standing tall, it's gonna be the Freebirds. Bad Street is calling, and we're bringing it straight to your front door, July the 20th. See you there, horse boys. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 56. It advanced the Freebird Horseman storyline. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head to our main event. In a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, the Great Muta defeated Genichiro Tenryu in 24-34 by pinfall. The match was designated to be an engrossing, story-driven spectacle that was slowly built through psychology and worked towards a dramatic conclusion. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling got an 80. The crowd rating got a 67. The segment got us an 84. Genichiro Tenryu had a 70. The Muta had a 91. It advanced the Roddy Piper Great Muta storyline. Tenryu and Muta had great chemistry and it showed in their performances. The Great Muta and James Mitchell are a good pair and they play off each other well. And the match got the crowd buzzing. So let's head to our last segment here. So it's pretty much just Piper attacking the Great Muta. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got a 92. It advanced the Piper Muta storyline. So let's finish off the show. We got an 86, so not too bad. We increased our popularity in 8 regions. We would have gained 1 in Canada and 6 in the Mexican region. But we were limited to viewers in both of them. So let's head to the next segment. Here. We made 1.1 million. We went up to 76 in Puerto Rico and 69 in British Columbia. So that's not too bad. So that is everything for this episode. So I will see you in the next one.